What's good, everybody? It's Kaige-O Gaming. We're back with some more content. What did you expect? We're back with some settlement survival. Last episode, we went through some tough times in this colony. The bandit raid wasn't so bad. The beast came back and got one of our citizens. Starvation, I think, got 2. The cold got 1. Granted, a lot of those people were injured. They were injured, so their health was already a little bit low. But the goal for today is to restabilize. We don't want any more losses like that. Can't afford it. We need the workers. We have a bunch of kiddos in school that should be getting ready to graduate. And our next step is to start preparing for this next wild beast event. And then we have immigrants coming right after, which should be great. We have a big harvest coming, which food was a problem the last 2 years, so I'm hoping that that helps a little bit. We also have a 3rd farm going. And then we have a ship event. So to start things off for today, we're going to make sure that we're gathering some plants. Probably stocking up on our wood supply a bit. That's definitely going to be important for us. We'll knock all the trees that are surrounding our buildings down. And we'll queue up some harvesting of the plants. Now this person who just died from the cold, that just happened as we started, or did that happen before we got off? Because if that just happened, that'd be a horrible way to start this episode. A horrible way. The good news is we had 2 people with tracheitis, right? And now we're down to 1. We don't have anybody working in the masonry workshop, but it looks like we're making progress with the hospital. Either that, or these people are just the ones who are dying. Oh, we had somebody else go. It was a student. Karen. Fell from hunger. We're really spiraling down, y'all. It's been a spiral. We need to restabilize. Now the whole cold factor, I'm wondering why that's happening, because this is now the 2nd person. No, the last person was hunger, even though we have 500 food stocked up. But the person before that was from coldness, and I know when you have fractures or sicknesses you move slower, so I'm wondering if it would be a good idea just to kind of go crazy on roads, at least around the houses, to make sure that people are getting to the houses as quickly as possible. And since we have quite a bit of stone, let's just go ahead and push out for some roads here. Some stone roads, I believe that gives a 50% movement increase. Tammy graduated. It's awesome. Is there anybody we really need to replace right now? Iron is doing fine. I'm cool with just 1 person there. Farms are good. Would be nice to get some more builders stocked up. Just as extra. I mean, they'll work as laborers anyways if we're not building anything. So we'll just keep them in there for now. We have another crate that we can't quite get yet. And we'll keep on gathering plants because we want to try and maintain our food. That's going to be very important. I'm hoping with 3 crops, a pasture, and a hunter's cabin, this should be enough food. Plus we're about to have the good harvest. Be nice if we could get some more seeds. Julia just graduated. Let's put her in the builder's cabin. We'll go ahead and fill up our builder's cabin before we start thinking about getting jobs elsewhere. We just need to restabilize. That's all we need. 9 people in the gravesite, which I believe that means we've lost 10 people so far. Some of them have been to old age. They lived a fulfilled life. But here comes all the graduates, which is what we were waiting for. Alright. How are we doing on linen still? I don't believe we're even really using any since we're using the leather. We're not. We don't need anybody in the textile mill. How are we on cut stone? We do need a little more cut stone if we're gonna start thinking about getting the barracks and the spearman camp. We're doing pretty well on shoes, so if possible, I'd like to go ahead and switch this over temporarily. Try and push out some rope so we can get the barracks going, and I think that's gonna be pretty important for us. Granted, we've only lost a couple buildings, but as time goes on, these hostile events are only going to get harder and harder. There will be a great harvest. That's great news. We desperately need it. Make sure we're still gathering our plants. Probably chop down some trees here as well. Sticking along the outside ring of our forester's hut, since trees seem to rapidly grow in that area. Queue up quite a few trees to be chopped. Stock up on the wood. Allow our plants to grow. We'll watch over our farms just for a little bit, since that's kind of the most important piece right now to our colony. Thing is, that's really the only thing we're struggling with. With that being the case, I don't think we need we don't need the sand mine because we don't need the reservoir. We're doing just fine on water. The big well has been clutch with us with 2 people. However, I do think it's about time to start getting compost and upgrading our fields into farms. The resource spot of fertile soil will be created in the center of the building, providing a 50% production buff for agricultural structures within the range. Now, agricultural structures, if anybody knows, please let me know. Is that only fields and farms, or does that also include pastures? Because we're going to get that down right away. And if we can get a bonus... That's going to give a bonus to our pasture, which again, I don't know if it works on the pastures. It'll cover a good chunk of our oat field, and then a small chunk of each pea crop. But I think it's important that we get that. We should have plenty of dung from our pasture, and then also our latrine. Where is that? That should be food raw materials. So we have about 1,300 stocked up. Also might want to start thinking about getting the apiary. Just to give us another slight bonus in food. We'll probably put 1 or 2 people in the compost plant. And then we'll consider getting the apiary next so we can start harvesting some honey and just give us a small boost to our food. I think that's kind of got to be our focus right now, especially if we're going to be taking in more immigrants that is going to be using more food, a higher food consumption. We're almost at 100% for health, nearing 80% in happiness, which would be great. We could use all the buffs and bonuses that we can get. Alright, now we have 3 people who are acting as laborers. Just to check, our medicinal powder is still at 300, so we're looking okay there. We only have 1 injury. We're getting some cut stone made. Two bursts occurred last season. We definitely need that. We need a constant supply, which I feel horrible saying that. A supply of children. We need constant rotation. That way we can keep building our buildings, keep having workers available to work these new buildings. But we're just trying to keep up with everything right now. The Wild Beast event is still not going to be for a little bit. Kinda tempting to go ahead and just fill all these towers to make sure we don't have to worry about losing a building. Problem is I still don't think the edge of this apartment is covered. But realistically, that should be the only building that isn't covered. Everything else should be good. So we could get another tower out here. I'm really not that worried about the apartments. If anything, we'll just rebuild them. All our jobs for our laborers is almost caught up and complete. Go ahead and make sure we're gathering more plants. And keep an eye on our harvest for this season. Compost plant is getting nearly finished. Go ahead and 5 times speed it for a minute. This is a gold point. Can obtain extra gold sand output from quarry and open mine structure. Alrighty. We got one person making fertilizer. We'll go ahead and boost the maximum production limit to 350 just for now. As of right now, we're only going to get the bonus from the building, but it's not a bad idea to stock up on fertilizer for when we upgrade to our farms. We might end up getting farming efficiency as well. Speed of sowing and harvesting plus 100%. That'll be really nice. Make sure we're getting our full harvest from our crops. We'll go ahead and put 2 people here. And then we want the apiary. But we need clay for that. Okay. Need clay. The farms we won't worry about until the fall when we're done harvesting. Because if we sit here and upgrade them now, it's just going to kill off our crop. Obviously, we can't afford that. We don't need that. So we'll go ahead and wait for this harvest season to be done. Clothes are maxed out. We could move this worker temporarily. Let's go ahead and get you making medicinal powder. And then we'll put somebody back in here shortly. Stone roads. We'll get some roads leading to these houses as well. We'll build this down some more, and then we'll probably end up building a few more houses. We also need to start thinking about getting some planks. Be nice if we could get some upgrades, but we don't have the materials for it yet. Because I really don't want to have to build another sawmill right now. But I don't think we can really afford to take people off of domestic fuel and switch it over to planks temporarily. It makes me a little nervous. We are sitting at 500, so maybe now is the best time to do it before winter hits and we start using all this fuel. So I'll go ahead and get that set up for now. We'll just have to keep a close eye on what our fuel is looking like to make sure that we don't run behind and our people start freezing. Oh man, these plants look huge. Is that because of the harvest? The great harvest we're having? Those things are gigantic. There are people in town who have no warm clothes and worry about winter. If there's anyone who knows how to mend worn clothes, then their rough clothes can last longer. we can purchase books. I mean, it only costs 100 silver, but is that going to give us books, or is that going to help us with our clothes? Sewing techniques times 3. That's going to be a textbook. Is sewing techniques a textbook? What is that? It is. The durability of rough clothes plus 20%. I mean, I'm hoping that will upgrade from rough clothes soon, so I don't know if that'll be worth putting in the schools later on. We might be using better clothes by then, but if anything, we could sell them. So alright, we have 3 laborers right now. Let's make sure that they are all working. Again, gathering our plants, chopping down trees as we need them, making sure we're keeping up with our food. We are having a decent stock. Look at that. Look at the comparison from last year. They still got quite a bit of harvesting to do. Can you see the bonus that they're getting? Fertile soil bonus, 26% of the area. This one's 87. This one's 52. This gets no resource bonus, so this does not help the pastures. That's good to know. 14 citizens want new houses. I guess we should probably start building those. We have a traveling merchant. We'll get 2 houses down for now. 570 stone. Oh, that's cut stone. I was like, how do we only have 31? 11,000 silver if we had that. We learned our lesson from last time. We're not selling our food, and for 161 gold, I don't think it's worth it. We did have somebody pass away, but it was to old age. That's good news. Still have 2 laborers available. Now that it is winter, let's go ahead and slow things down. We'll get a farm. We'll get farming efficiency. We'll go ahead and upgrade all of these. And that should definitely help us with our output. We're stocked up on 3,000 food. So if we have another food issue after this, I'm going to be very surprised. Luke, our teacher, has just passed away, again of old age. That's good news. We have 5 years until the next bandit camp event. And we only have about 4 or 5 months till the beast. Where's our chopping house? We've made 80 planks, but it's time to get back onto domestic fuel. We're down to 88. Making sure we're paying close attention to that. This is going to take up 6 workers for the farm. Probably going to need to put another worker at the tailor soon. So maybe we'll hold off on the apiary. I'm hoping that these farms, instead of fields with the upgraded versions, will be better. And so we won't have to worry about the apiary. The bandit camp has upgraded and bandits have become stronger. Please take precautions. Well, that's a little scary. That's unsettling. We don't like that. There's a ton of buffalo over here. Hunter's cabin's doing okay. I think it's about time that we replace this maybe. We can go ahead and get another pasture. Pastures are giving us about 280 meat. 280, 340. This is giving about 450. Maybe it's worth having, but this is 1 worker versus 3 workers. Also something to keep in mind. This storage spot is new. We can increase the weight by 2,000 if we use 30 of our cut stone, which we can afford. We'll get 2 pea crops and 1 oat crop like before. Rope is maxed out, so let's make sure we're making our shoes again. Alright, 1 person cold, 1 person injured. Kyle graduated. Go ahead and slow things down a bit. You guys do not have domestic fuel in your home. 11 citizens still want housing. Our apartment should be free for our immigrants. You don't have a worker. Are we using any linen at all yet? Raw materials. We've used some flax. We must use flax to make the rope. Speaking of, just so we have it, I believe it's in construction. Barracks and spear camp. Probably start getting the barracks down. Question is, where do we want to put our barracks? Do we want it? Right there. We want to take advantage of the compost. And we also want to make sure it's protected. How far does our market reach? We could put it right over here. I don't know if I like that spot. Don't really like that spot either. I'd put it on the other side of the pasture. I don't know if that's really protected either. Oh boy, where do we want to put this? I'd put it over here. Just for now, I guess. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we would put over here right now. Because for a lot of our production and manufacturing, we're going to have to start going towards the water. We have our mine already, and we know that this whole mountain is wonky anyways. That's the point where we can't really put any type of mines. I think we're just going to go there for now. Again, as always, if we need to move it around, we'll make sure to do so. The logistics of our barracks isn't going to be important. I'm mostly worried about it being out of the way of our other buildings, and I'm also worried about it being protected. Those are my 2 biggest concerns right now. Farms we already know about, that's fine. And then we also have to start thinking about the spear camp as well. Honestly, we could put this right next to the barracks and probably be fine. About to use our rope and planks, which we should have all covered. Then we'll start training some reservists, especially after this immigrant event. I think we have to take the time to start training some troops. It's definitely going to cost us some money. We'll have to start thinking about getting trade here soon. Gonna have to use 8 citizens. Haiti? Eddie? Eddie graduated? That's an interesting name. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Alright. Definitely have been slacking on the gathering for our laborers. Make sure we're getting that done. Wood is looking fine. Stone running a bit low. What are we even using stone for? Why is that diminishing? Annual consumption 198. Is that from buildings? We're using iron for our tools now. Did we lose somebody else? Nope, just the old age. Just Luke the teacher. Got about 2 months till the beast event. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Let our barracks get built up. Put somebody back in the tailor because we're under 100 clothes. Jim the Forester has died of old age. Layla has replaced him as our worker. Cemetery is halfway full, something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Should build more houses, but not going to worry about it. Ooh, we have our first potential natural disaster event coming. Now, there is a chance for natural disasters to be false warnings. So, I guess we'll pray that that's the case. Because, I really don't know how the natural disasters are in this game. I don't think I've ever really suffered from any before. I know I've played through the snowstorm a while back, but since the update and since adding new natural disasters, not really sure what to expect. We will get one person trained up, but we'll keep it at a maximum of one person. That's going to take 200 silver, and it takes some time for them to train. But we'll get one built up. A new livestock? What do we get? Alpacas. That's just gonna give us meat and alpaca wool. Not a huge deal. We could start stocking up on textiles though. Alright, now what we're gonna want to do is take our people off our builder's cabin, and just in case this guy decides to spawn on the edge of the map, we want to be prepared for that. If he spawns on this side, we want to make sure we have people in there right away. And let's wait for this beast event. If he spawns any other side of the map, we should have time. The only side that really makes me nervous is maybe right here, so we'll get one right there as well. Probably gonna end up spending a month's salary on these buildings, but I think it might be worth sacrificing the coin for. Could be wrong in that, might not be worth it, but it should be 75. Go ahead and fast forward and wait for the event. Let's see what happens. Then once this event ends, we'll get the immigrants. We can start doing some more research, start getting some more buildings. Have to start thinking about getting more houses and maybe even potentially another marketplace. 93, 84, and 95%. This is at 54, so even our warehouses are starting, or our storage yards are getting full. So we might have to start thinking about getting warehouses. Might be a good investment for us. And the event is about to trigger. The event's about to trigger. I'm a little scared, a little nervous. Wait for it. Wait for it. Beasts are intruding. One time speed it. Where are you coming from, my guy? From over here. Let's see if this tower covers it. Is it another tiger? It is a tiger named Corey. Alright, so that means these sides should be okay. We'll put one person here. We'll keep them there in case this guy wants to wrap around the mountains. Everything else looks to be doing okay. any gathering we do, we'll keep over on the left side away from the tiger. Where are you going, my guy? We'll get one here as well, just in case. Since he is rotating over, let's take them out. Pause these buildings. Dude, if you go after our apartments again, I'm gonna be a little upset. I don't know if we have the range to reach that. Alright, workers, where are you at? You're way over there, you need to hurry. You are in the tower, and you are in the tower. Please hit like the corner right here. Dude, don't you dare go right here. Don't you dare. We do have somebody in that tower. Can we take out the beast? Please, can we take him out? Dude, don't hit the corner. Okay, he's in range. He's got a lot of health. I don't even know if we'll take him out before he gets this building. We should be okay. Are you serious? Are you serious? You're resting? Be so for real right now. Be so for real. Why are you resting? How does that make any sense? Now we need a second person in here. This other person's way across the... Like, be so for real. If we have citizens die because of this, I'm gonna be so upset. Are you gonna get in range of this tower? Are you gonna destroy my barracks? You're resting? This is crazy. This is nuts. Alright, we can take you off. Are you just gonna leave? That was extremely frustrating. Like, be so for real. You're gonna get him over halfway down. Alright, the beast is gone. That just aggravated me. That's so annoying. That doesn't even make sense. With that, they definitely need a new mechanic where you force people to work, even if it makes them unhappy. Something needs to change about that. Apparently, troops are going to be a lot more important than I thought, because them arrow towers, at that point, they're useless. What's even the point? What's the deal? This game. That's ridiculous. Anyways, we have immigrants coming in, and we also have to try and get ready for the natural disaster, the potential natural disaster. We have 11 new immigrants. I'd like to try and hold off on accepting them until we can get our apartments up. Research, we only have 4 points, which means it might be time for the Research Institute. I think we're gonna go ahead and do that. Research Institute isn't going to be that important on placement. But we do need to start thinking about getting some more XP. We want to make sure we're leaving room for our housing. Probably end up demolishing this for now, just to make room for our houses, and then we'll go ahead and just move this over. I still can't believe that. I can't believe that just happened to it. there anything else we want to research right now? Things that we need. Start thinking about sand mining soon, but I'd like to move closer to the water first. I don't think we quite need a transfer station yet. But we're gonna have to start thinking about areas where we want our warehouses. Alright, this is 64% built. I don't know how long immigrants stick around. They have arrived in April. It just turned May. But just in case, let's go ahead and accept them now. They do have a disease. It looks like it's going to be cholera, which we should have the research to accelerate the treatment, just to make sure. It is cholera. That should be okay. Kinda tempting to get a second clinic. Let's make sure we have plenty of work for our laborers to do here. Go ahead and gather a ton of plants. Keep them busy while we figure out what to do for jobs. Training settings, let's go ahead and get this to 3 people. Start getting those built up. Get more houses down. 4 more should be good. 9 citizens want new houses. 5 are homeless, but we have the apartment, so that should change shortly. 1 injured, 1 person sick. Luna was just our first graduate out of like this next class of people, I guess. The first person to graduate from her class, I guess, if you want to say that. She's already gone. Struck by lightning. Be so for real. Our luck is running thin from our first 2 episodes. The game? I think the game's treating us unfairly. That's what I think. I think we're getting done dirty. And there's nothing we can do about it. Stone and iron are doing fine. We don't need extra workers there. How are we doing on compost? Is that raw materials? Yes. We only have 50 fertilizer. Where is our fertilizer going? What would we be using that for? Why do we only have 50? Neither of you have it in your inventory. We've used a bunch of dung. I think we're these buildings are starting to get pretty far away from our houses, which does make me nervous. I think with that, it's important that we start getting some roads over this way. Maybe even get a road right here, because I think we're gonna put our next pasture down. We'll probably end up moving that tower, so we'll do a 10 by 10 like the last one. That's gonna use quite a bit of wood. So let's go ahead and make sure we're gathering some more. A decent amount of trees over here. Decent cluster here. We'll let them go to work for a little bit. Research Institute. Research. Where do we want to pitch you? I do not know. We're running low on spacing for house. Don't really want to put it there because that's in the zone. We'll just put it behind the chapel for now. Or do we just keep it here? We'll put it here for now. Again, can always move it. Can always move it. So let's go ahead and wrap this stone road. Again, we want quick and easy access to our housing. Make sure our people have enough time to get warm. The cholera has been treated. We do have 2 injuries. We have some people who want new houses still. After we get that research going, where do we want to go next? We could start thinking about getting coffee, which I believe will give us a boost to our health. Paper. We're about to get a research institute. I'm not too worried about our XP output right now. Let's start thinking about getting some trading, but money, again, not too worried about yet. Food. I did not mean to click that. Food still seems like it's a bit of a problem. We're down to 231. This is going to be our first harvest with the farms though, instead of fields. And we are about to get another pasture going. So I guess we'll see what it looks like after this harvest. We are running quite low on wood, waiting for our laborers to catch up. Gathering that. Kinda tempted to get another forester's hut. Now these marquises can hold 10 citizens, provides food, water, and insulation, and a kind of crowded quarter. Living in it will prevent further reproduction, suitable as makeshift settlements for immigrants. We have the apartments. I wish they still had like the tents. They don't have tents anymore, and I'm not exactly sure why they took that out the game, but it'd be nice if we could have like a tent here. Not even for, I mean, we could get the boiler room, but I just want it for heat. Or if like people get hungry, they have somewhere they can go. We just need cut stone, but I'm not sure how much domestic fuel that's gonna use. But just to keep everybody warm, because as we build further and further away from our homes, like this is already getting pretty far. I want to make sure they have enough time to get back. So maybe a boiler room like in this area wouldn't be bad. I just don't know how much domestic fuel that's going to consume. It already seems like we're running a bit low on it. Probably to the point where we need to increase our max production of domestic fuel. Now we could get a mine going and start mining for coal, which lasts longer than our domestic fuel. Out of food. I just want to make sure our people aren't freezing, and the more homes that we have to supply, the more fuel we're going to be using. Cattle or alpacas? We'll get alpacas for now. That way we have some leather and alpaca wool going. 2 different types of textiles. We might be able to start thinking about getting the advanced tailor and some better clothes here soon. And I don't know what we're using our fertilizer for. I don't know. Like, why does it say 0 consumption? But then we only have 22 when we've clearly made over 300. That doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know where all that's going. Everything else we seem to be doing okay with. We are running low on backpacks, so we might want to start thinking about getting a reed farm. How is our reed doing? 51, so we are low on reed. Make sure we're still gathering some. But we're gonna need reed production if we're going to start making baskets, which will be a good replacement for our backpacks that we're gonna lose. Not quite as good as the backpacks, but at least it's something. Backpacks, I believe we need leather. No, we need cotton cloth. We don't have a cotton crop yet. Warehouse, not too worried about. Let's go ahead and get delivery. Workers in marketplaces, small marketplaces will automatically deliver food, water, and fuel to nearby citizens. Go ahead and get that. Movement speed of logistic workers. We really only have the one person in the market, so I'm not going to worry about that yet. But that leaves us with 2 points, so it's a good thing we're getting this research institute done. That'll boost our XP output a bit. Is there anywhere we want to put more workers? How's medicinal powder doing? Fair enough. Tools is fine. Shoes is fine. Clothing's fine. Iron and stone are fine. We can actually... We have 82 stocked up. Let's take a person out of here. And let's get some more stone production going. All this stuff is probably all good. Don't need to worry about it. Water's fine. Food, questionable. So is it time for some new resources? Probably. But we need the text output. Or, the XP output for it. I think we just train up people. Train up reservists. I hate to have this many laborers, though. I'd like to put them somewhere. I mean, we could gather more poop, I guess. We need it, because we're running through it quite quickly for our compost. Could also put more people in the pasture to see if that increases our output at all. Try and keep in mind that this was last year's numbers. Because we're only on month 7 and we've nearly matched last month's numbers already. Which is interesting. I wonder why that's the case. I wonder if this person had like an injury for a little bit or something. Iron is perfectly fine. Definitely don't need more of that. Shoes are maxed out. Is there anything else we want to make here though? Not really, so I guess we can go ahead and boost this to 250 capacity. Don't need another repairman. We need XP. I've just built another research institute for now. Could start stocking up on coffee and make our orchard. Drinks is going to affect our health, which we really don't need. We need stuff for happiness. Do we have what we need? No. How do we get the advanced tailor? Oh, we do. Because we just need weaving unlocked. We're pretty good on clothes. If we upgrade this, stone, iron, and planks. How are we on planks? We have 70. Yeah. Let's get that going. Our advanced tailor. What else can you make? All of this stuff is gonna be locked. The iron tools is the best we can make for now. Kiara graduated, Bart graduated, Jacqueline. Eva, Erica, the water fetcher, has died of old age. Eight citizens want new houses. We have 20 kiddos. Not doing bad there. Let's start thinking about the placement of this next arrow tower since we're moving it over. Right there should be okay. My only worry is that They loop around the mountain right there. Let's go ahead right here with it. And then with that, we'll go ahead and get one more research institute. Harvey has graduated from school. Oh. See if we can make better clothes. And then, man, where are we gonna put our next marketplace? Do we expand out this way? I don't know. We might have to reorganize our colony once we place a second marketplace. I'll have to see. Alright, I think we can go ahead and speed things up for now. Let these buildings get built. Trying to wait out the next events. We have 4,000 food. Food should no longer be a problem for us for now. Stone is still taking a bit of a hit. We have 73% inventory in our quarry before we need to upgrade it. Iron is doing perfectly fine. Not even worried about it. Second person's about to get trained up. We might just end up spending our workers there. We're not in desperate need of anything, but workers, definitely important. We can get rough clothes. Down jackets are leather and alpaca wool, linen and feathers, linen and alpaca wool. So I think we're gonna stick with rough clothes just for now. But shortly we will be changing to down jackets. Because we can use leather, alpaca wool, linen. Be nice if we could get feathers. Can't get wool yet, and we can't get cotton cloth yet. But looking at costumes, we do have what it takes to make costumes with linen and leather. Might be a good idea to get cattle, so we can get so we have something that we can depend on, because everything from our hunter's hut is kind of random on what they're going to gather for us. So we need some consistency with our leather if we're going to start making the costumes. For theaters, we need to start thinking about brick and glass though, because theaters are going to boost our happiness just like the church is. And then instead of using ceremonial bread to get an extra bonus, we make costumes. And it also looks like we need the costumes to just build it in general. I kind of would like the boiler room here soon. Should be getting a decent amount of XP now that we have 2 of those. We'll go ahead and pause that. We have our third person in training. We have the money for it for right now, so let's go ahead and make it a 4th person. New tech. So with this, we need 5 more people. So after all these people are trained, we're still going to have 4 laborers left. And people are graduating. We had 5 births last season. So what's the next thing we want to start getting? Now what we could do is with our housing, just have like raw material output. So things like the mine, like the reed farm, like the sand and clay, where you don't need other items to produce what they're getting from that building. Those are the places that we don't necessarily want a warehouse next to, but we want a transfer station next to, because they'll transfer those raw materials to a warehouse that is close to the manufacturing place that would use those raw materials. And rather than, let's say, the iron tools, right? And let's say we had iron production over here. Instead of the toolmaker having to walk all the way here for some iron, then all the way back to start making the tools, and then traveling to the nearest storage, which would just be next door. But in order to cut that trip all the way over here for the iron, we just get a transfer station, make sure the transfer station is holding the iron and transferring it to the nearest warehouse, and kind of go about it that way. And that's going to cut travel time and then also increase efficiency. We haven't gathered plants in a while, so we should have quite a few grown, even though it is winter. Go ahead and get that started, and we are running low on trees again, or on timber. Go ahead and get some trees chopped down. Probably should have queued all that up before winter, but it is what it is. Research, research, research. Do need to start placing some things on the water. But because this is at a weird angle, we're probably not going to get any buildings across here or along here. Probably going to have to put some buildings here. That's very, very far away from where our colonies or our houses are. Our doctor has died of old age. That's fine. But it does look like we were able to restabilize, which is great news. Great news. We have 8 spots open in the graveyard in the cemetery. Farmer has died of old age, so it looks like we might have to hold off on our research for a little bit because we might not have the workers for it. And I think now is the time that we start getting our troops so that we can actually defend our colony. So we don't have to rely on our watchtower people who go on rest in the middle of a threat. What is that? Who hired that person? Fired immediately. Sent to the dungeons. We don't have dungeons, but if I did, they would be there. Serve a good 5-year sentence for the damage that was done. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Alright, a lot of people are cold. Hopefully with the new road system we have, they have plenty of time to get back. Both of our injured people are in the clinic, so that's fine. Because usually it's our injured people who struggle to get back to the house after being cold. Might not be a bad idea to have a road leading this way. Think we'll do that. Just so people at our forester's hut can get back quicker. Other than that, let's let the events play out for a little bit, shall we? We have 4 years till the bandit event. Fuel reserves are low. Might have to get another sawmill, but preferably, if we can get a water sawmill. Because of the angle, and you can't place buildings diagonally because of the grid system, it's gonna be a little difficult to find a place to place it. Like, I think the closest place we're gonna be able to place it is right there. Pretty far. Not to mention, that's far from all of our wood production. Kinda tough. Could get a transfer station over here rather than a storage yard. Or we could just get a second forester's hut. I don't know where we would put it, because I don't know if we want to use up all this area for forestry. Bartley has died of old age. I wonder if this is our first generation that is finally giving way, living a fulfilled life since the beginning. They are the reason that we are here today. May they rest in eternal peace. How's our alpacas doing? We only have one. That's taken a while to get going. Stone is still kind of taking a hit. Let's get a 5th person in there, because we can afford it. Make sure we're still gathering our plants. Because if anything, not necessarily for the food, but we need to make sure that we're still getting herbs for our medicinal powder and also reed for our shoes. You're cold. Oh, you are cold. Let's pray that you make it back home in time. We did send you pretty far out. That's a little scary. As the number of pastures in the town grows, the town has a more stable meat supply. Now the citizens want different recipes for meat to cook more healthy and delicious foods. I mean, why not take the books, right? It's only 100 silver. Quality food. I'm not sure exactly what that does. Where do we see our books again? Over here. Well, let's wait for that to update, see what it does. We are officially in year 12. Where's our quality food book? Quality food. After graduation, students have the possibility of gaining extra abilities. The hunger of meat from simple food plus 5%. Which would be kind of decent. But as we go into year 12, we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. It was a rough start. But I think we did a fine job in restabilizing. I think we have a pretty sustainable production of everything at this point, except maybe fuel I'd like a little more of. We could just build a sawmill. Again, we can just destroy buildings, and I think that sometimes I fail to take that into account. So if we really need to, we can just place a quick sawmill down in the same area, make sure we're boosting that production, and I think we're going to have to start thinking about getting some more planks as well. So something to keep in mind for the next episode. But as always, I appreciate y'all for stopping by, and I hope to see y'all next time. Until then, peace out, y'all.